everyone and welcome to my channel. In one of my previous videos, I talked about some of the benefits of immigrating to Canada. If you haven't seen that video, you can click over here, or you can also click in the description. Now, one of the benefits mentioned in that video was the relatively lower cost to apply for Canadian PR compared to some other countries. So today, we'll take a deep dive and figure out how much does it really cost to apply for a Canadian PR through Express Entry in 2021. I'll break down the cost in different categories so it gives you a fair idea of how much is the expected cost to apply for a PR. So let's get started with Educational Credential Assessment. Educational Credential Assessment, or ECA, is used to verify if your foreign degree, diploma, or certificate is equal to a Canadian one and is valid in Canada. If you're applying for Canadian PR and wish to get extra points for your study outside of Canada, you must include your ECA report and the reference number in your Express Entry profile. Now, according to CIC, there are 5 designated organizations to do an ECA, and you can pick any one of them. I use WES, which as of this recording charges $220 for one ECA. But after taxes, courier or mail charges, it could cost around $300 for one ECA per individual for immigration. If you want to evaluate 2 degrees, like bachelor's and master's, or one for your spouse, the cost would be doubled to $600. And this ECA report is valid for 5 years. Next is language test. This is another important document which is required and used to ensure that you can communicate in either French, English, or both. For English, you can either take the CELPIP's general test or IELTS general training for immigration purposes. And for French, you can take a test from TEF Canada. Now, the cost of these can largely depend on the type of test and when you take them. As of today, it can cost you around $300 to $350 for one person for a single test. And next up is the actual application for Express Entry. Now, once you have the above documents, you can submit your profile in the Express Entry pool. And if your Express Entry points are above the cutoff or the threshold, you'll receive an ITA, which is an invitation to apply for Express Entry. And there's no application fees to submit a profile. It's completely free of cost. Now, once you receive your ITA and you accept it, you will need to provide some additional documents. Police certificates is one of them. Now, it could take a long time to get police certificates, so you should really consider asking for them as soon as your profile is in the Express Entry pool. If you have a criminal record, you may not be allowed to enter or stay in Canada. Also, people who pose a risk to Canadian security are also not allowed to come to Canada. Now, on an average, this police certificate can cost you around $100 per person. Now, there's another document required for Canadian PR, which is the medical exam report. For permanent residents in Canada, you must have an immigration medical exam. Your family members should also have a medical exam even if they're not coming with you. And this medical exam should only be done by the physicians listed on the CIC website. And the cost of these medical exams really depend on the physicians and if there's any specific tests that are being performed. But on an average, it costs around $300 per individual. Now, once you have all these documents, you can submit your application by paying the application fee, which for an individual could be around $1,325. Now, most people might need biometrics as well, which will cost additional $85 per person. Now, for any other miscellaneous expenses, you can take a buffer of $200. Now, all of this combined could cost you around $2,600 to $2,800 Canadian dollars per individual. Alright, so I've also done some math to show an example of how much it would cost for a spouse and for a child. Now, also note that if you accept the ITA for Federal Skilled Worker or Federal Skilled Trades program within Express Entry, you will need to show something called a proof of funds. Now, this is not a cost, you just need to show these funds in your account, which implies that you have enough funds to sustain yourself when you first land in Canada. So this would be around $13,000 for one person. But again, this information might change in future, so be sure to check the links in the description for the most up-to-date information. So hopefully this gives you an idea and you can prepare yourself to how much it will cost for Canadian PR using Express Entry in 2021. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.